Welcome to Living Chassidus. Together, let's live the Chassidus we learn.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Chassidus in the Morning. 15 minutes, change your life. Chana for Rosh Hashanah. In Mitzvah Hashem, we're going to finish the Sikh today. We're going to get in, so we're getting into it. So remember, we're discussing why does it say Lo Asar Yamim? It says Dush Avai Matz. This is in the pasuk Yisrael Hashem where he's found. The Gemara explains what does that mean. It means these are the 10 days between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, even though the 7 days between Rosh Hashanah and Kippur. So we say because there's an aspect of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur that's part of the Aseret Tshuva, it's part of Tshuva, but then there's a deeper aspect of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, and that's what we're going to learn in the next Sikha, that it's not part of it. So what did we say? We said ultimately there's 3 levels. There's, so to speak, the lowest level, which is Torah Mitzvahs. Then there's a level above that, which is Tshuva. And then there's a level above Tshuva. 1 second. Then there's a level above Tshuva, which is the Tamnuchuni Aleichem, crown God as King, which is ultimately saying, before we can discuss about the Torah mitzvahs and discuss about the tshuva, first we have to establish a relationship. And then when we explained it in terms of, that's why it's called Rosh Hashanah. It's not just a random name, but the Rosh is like the head has this 3 aspects. As the head is by itself, head and shoulders above the rest, you have the head as it runs the body, and the head has the life force, which is the union of tshuva. And now we're about to discuss, we can even see this and like everything Chassidus, in Nigla, meaning it's in the revealed aspects of Torah. And we're going to discuss the halachos of Rambam and how we see it from, if you pay attention to Rambam, you'll find it. And that's what we're going to do today. Okay. We're in the middle of Ois Daled. So, Rambam, the Hilchos Teshuva, so the Rambam talks in the halachos of Tshuva. Not the halachas of Rosh Hashanah, the halachas of Tshuva. What does he say? He says, shofar. Rosh Hashanah gets a kasuv, even though the blowing of the shofar. Remember, we're talking about Hilchos Teshuva. He says, even though blowing the shofar is a kasuv, is just a decree, and there's no real logic behind it. But there is a hint to this idea. What is that? Chazas b'tshuva. It's hinting to doing tshuva. So the Rebbe says we need to understand something here. So why is Rambam bringing this down in the halachas of tshuva? The whole discussion of Rosh Hashanah is about the halachas of the shofar, about shofar. But he doesn't bring it down in Hilchos shofar, he brings it down in Hilchos tshuva. Even though we are talking about the ideas of tshuva, but being that the tshuva is hinting to the aspect of the shofar, should have been brought down in the halachas of shofar. We see this somewhere else, and he does do it this way. As we see the Rambam does it somewhere else. In the halachas of mikvahs. So when it comes to mikvahs and going to the mikvah, the Rambam brings a reason. In the halachas of the mikvah, and what does he say? He says basically exactly the same things we say here in Gats the Shofar. So what does he say? He says, here, it's a decree. There's no real logic behind it. But nevertheless, there's a hint to it. Well, what is it referring to? It's referring to is to matar the soul, purify the soul from if it was touching something that was tamei, or touching the person, the days arise, or you had bad ideas, you go to the mikvah and it sort of purifies you. But may das tar with impure thoughts. So what it was saying is like this: that in regards to go to the mikvah, the Rambam says it's a gzeres kasuv, just like the shofar. It says, but it's hinted to something, it's hinted to purifying you, and you go to the mikvah and it purifies you. Now, and helps you do tshuva essentially. Yes, to purify you. But where does he put this down? It puts it down in halachas of going to the mikvah. Aval b'cholza is eine kaveh hilchos teshuva. Kaveh b'hilchos teshuva, but he doesn't bring down hilchos teshuva. Elav hilchos mikvahs. The whole concept that we're talking about, what the mikvah is hinting to, is teshuva being able to fix up the wrong thoughts or became tamei. All these things are really connected to teshuva, but he doesn't bring it down hilchos teshuva. He brings it down hilchos mikvahs. Shekain yeshrem as a tam mikvah. The reason why it brings it in the halachas of the mikvah because it's hinting to mikvah. Whereas for some reason, when it comes to Hilchos shofar, he doesn't bring down the inyan of tshuva in halachas of shofar, but he brings it down in Hilchos tshuva, which is confusing. If you'd say he always does that, then there'll be something to it. But he doesn't always do that. We see here by the halachas of the mikvahs that he talks about the inyan of tshuva, not in Hilchos tshuva, but in Hilchos mikvahs. So what's going on over this? Why? That's one question. And secondly, we also need to understand, the Gemara never says in the Gemara, part of Rosh Hashanah is saying words of kingship, that we should crown God as king. And how do you crown God as king? By blowing shofar. So Hare, through the shofar, Nifal Gam the shofar also causes the crowning God as king. So Madua Imkain, so therefore, why Ein Harambam maybe b'shofar Gam is inyan tamluchuni? He doesn't bring down in the halachas of shofar this idea at all. So the concept of kingship, of crowning God as king, doesn't exist by Rambam. Doesn't bring it down in Hilchos shofar. By the inyan of tshuva of the shofar, he brings it down in Hilchos tshuva. So the only thing he's bringing down in the halachas of shofar is how to blow the shofar, is the mitzvah of the shofar, actually blowing the shofar, which is exactly Chassid. So this is the question, but based off the information that we've learned already, we can answer this. So just to recap what's happening here is this: we've discussed that there's three aspects of the shofar. There's the mitzvah aspect of shofar, then there's the tshuva aspect of the shofar, and then there's the deepest aspect of the shofar, which is crowning God as king. That before anything comes, before we discuss how the relationship is happening, how good it is, or how bad it is, and what we need to fix. First let's set the relationship. So these three things, they're not talked about. So this is the three things we're trying to understand here, and we can see these three ideas in Rambam himself. How do we see? Let's see. According to what we said before, in regards to the three ideas of the head of the Rosh Hashanah, the head and the head of the year in Rosh Hashanah, we can explain ki gam b'shofar yeshnam shlosh inyanim. Also, the shofar has these three ideas. Mitzvah is the shofar. They have the mitzvah aspect of the shofar, which is that also was in before, which is blowing the shofar. Al kafar dinim and all its laws, how to blow the shofar. At Zeis, and this idea, the halacha, the mitzvah, the blowing of the shofar, where does Rambam bring it down? At Zeis, Meina Rambam gam tarig mitzvah is the kaiva Hilchos shofar, and bring it down Hilchos shofar. The Hilchos shofar, the halachas of the shofar, how to blow a shofar, which is the mitzvah aspect. Like we said before, there's three levels of Rosh Hashanah. There's the mitzvah, then there's the shuvah, and then there's tamluchuni aleichem. So the mitzvah aspect is in Hilchos shofar, and the bechinas shuvah, the level of tshuva of the shofar, hakayemes beremes, which is sort of hinted to in the shofar. It's not the halacha, but it's what it's hinting to. So therefore, it's a higher level than the mitzvahs. Therefore, Rambam brings down this idea. That's why he brings it down in the halachas of in tshuva. Not in the halachas of shofar. Shekain, because the Hilchos shofar in the halachas of shofar who done rak oides mitzvahs shofar or prate dinner. Because in halachas of shofar, it's only about the shofar. It's the mitzvah aspect of shofar. But hinting is on a deeper level, so that's in the tshuva aspect. V'ilo tshuva, hilo ma'ila mitzvah tshuva is a higher level than mitzvahs. Iraq meruma is hinting in the shofar. So I'll explain a little bit like this in different words. When you're in a relationship, there's a thing you need to do. There's the baseline things we got to do. You got to act like a mensch. You got to take out the trash. You got to clean the dishes. and you got to be respectful of one another. That's like the mitzvah aspect. That has to be written clear. That's obvious. It has to be written clear. But then there's a deeper level to the relationship where it doesn't have to be spelled out everything. Because if everything's spelled out, it loses it. It has to be, there's a sensitivity that has to be brought down. And that sensitivity is like tshuva, or it's like hinted to. That the husband and the wife in the relationship, they don't have to say specific things, but they can hint to it. And you walk past the store and the wife's like, oh, that looks beautiful. She's not telling him he has to go buy it, but he has to use his brain and he's getting the hint that that would be a good thing to buy. But that can't be spelled out. So that's the level of tshuva, which is a deeper level of the relationship. That if you can pick up, if you're smart enough, pick up on those things, it shows on the deeper level of the relationship. And therefore, it's not brought down in the halachas of shofar, but it's brought down in Hilchos Teshuva. The V'zayis Rambam gam medayik b'lashonah. And we're going to see in the language of the Rambam. He says, "Af al pim shetekiah shofar v'Rosh Hashanah gzeiras hakasav." Even though, like he says in Hilchos Teshuva, even though blowing the shofar is a decree, limreis shetekiah shofar he gzeira. Even though it's a decree, b'chal zayis nevertheless remish by the hint to it. Merumas by inyan and nesaf. It hints to another idea. There's a level of the shofar which is above the mitzvahs themselves. Just like every hint is above being clothed. It's hinted to because you can't specify it. Meaning what he's saying is you can't come and say you have to do this, but you don't. It's a deeper level of the relationship. And so you just get hinted to. And this is tshuva. Tshuva, because you can't just do tshuva by rote. A mitzvah you can and you have to. You can't say, I don't feel, I'm not doing it. You have to do it. But tshuva, if it's not yours, you don't own it, you can't, it doesn't work that way. You can't say, I just pretend tshuva. Whereas mitzvahs, you gotta do it. You can't tell your wife, I'm not in the mood, I don't really feel helping out. So I'm just not going to do it. It doesn't work that way. You got to do it. It doesn't matter how you feel. Of course, you should feel it, but you got to do what you got to do. What's true is that deeper level of the relationship, it has come to you. If it's not something that's specific, you have to do. If you're going to do it, it has to come from yourself. And then there's the third level, which is which is crying Hashem as King, which is affected by the blowing of shofar, which is what we said that it doesn't really brought down in Rambam. The Inyan Zeh, Hine Naila Legami mitzvah shofar is totally above the mitzvah shofar. The Einu Yachal his bata, I feel it can't be even brought out, even a way of a hint. She can't gam remez who to know ashal gilit, because even a hint is a way of a type of revelation. Whereas crowning Hashem as King, this deepest level of the relationship, who his batlus. This is a total nullification of the essential nullification of the essence of the psalm. Meaning everything we're talking about is in terms of how the relationship is. But Talmud Chuni is the relationship. It's the core of everything. Before we start discussing how am I doing, what am I doing, am I understanding your hints, we have to establish that there is a relationship. And that's the highest level. And therefore, it's above a mitzvah, it's above being hinted to. Unlike tshuva, the tshuva is above, what's the gzeiras hakasav clearly spelled out. It's hinted to. And that's why it's somewhere else. Whereas the crown of Hashem as King is not in, because it's way above being brought down. You can't say, are we in a relationship? You can't talk about it. It is, and this is sort of the right. So what we see here, I'm gonna finish all this crazy rain. What we see here is that even in Rambam, which is halacha sefer, you can see these ideas that we've been talking about. That someone's gonna tell you that this is made up from Chassidus, and all these made up ideas. So it's not. And tomorrow, Mr. Hashem will finish it off, and next week after Rosh Hashanah, Mr. Hashem will learn that the Sikha that continues on this of Yom Kippur, which also is the same theme. And also what we're saying is, and this is sort of like we said yesterday, we have to think there's something to think about, and especially Rosh Hashanah, when you're davening, Rosh Hashanah is not just saying, hey, I'm sorry, I'm bad, but it's really getting to the core of the relationship. And ultimately, the core of the relationship is Hashem loves us. Hashem cares about us. Not because of our mitzvahs, and He cares about us not because of our tshuva. He cares about us because of who we are. We're family, and family is above all those things. It's deeper than all those things. You don't lose family because of your mistakes. Your family might not speak to you, God forbid, but you don't lose being family. And this is what we're saying here. And ultimately, what we're saying is that Rosh Hashanah is we're tapping into that deepest level, but that level always exists. But the question is, are we privy to it? Are we seeing that? Are we feeling that? And Rosh Hashanah, we're trying to bring that out, within ourselves and reveal that. And ultimately, it's a reminder for ourselves to tap into that and to show God that, hey, I want to be in a relationship, and that expression is it's the deepest level because it's above Torah mitzvahs. Meaning, if I don't have any Torah mitzvahs, my life is not about Torah mitzvahs on that level. It's not about doing Torah mitzvahs. It's not about getting a reward. It's not about getting punished. It's above all that. It's like, just to finish off with this quick story, that I was a counseling camp. I had a kid, and he was a little bit of a wild kid. And he wasn't so little to be a wild kid. He was very wild. But he had like a very sweet heart to him, just out of control. So one time I had to kick him out. I says, you got to go. We can't walk this way. So before he left, he said, can I ask one question? I'm like, yeah, sure. He goes, can I give you a hug? I said, sure. And I think you can sort of learn it out this way, that after all said and done, whether you're doing the right thing or not, he was saying to me, I care about, I love you. Like I want to be in a relationship with you. Like I did the wrong thing, I got to leave. I want to be in a relationship with you. And this is ultimately what I'm Rosh Hashanah. Yeah, I've done mistakes. Yeah, I could be better. And I should be. But you should know, Hashem, you should know, I want to be in a relationship with you. Even if I would never have to do Torah mitzvahs ever again, or I'd be totally, my relationship with you is not about those things. Relationship is about you. Like we said yesterday, there's one thing I'm asking. Shiur to Hashem, that I want to dwell in the house of Hashem. I want to be with you. To be continued tomorrow. Have a great day.